All right, so in this video, we are now going to set up Dreamweaver to work with the files that we just downloaded and extracted into our work folder. If you haven't done that yet, please refer back to the video prior to this one so that you can get that set up and put together some strategies regarding how to approach this. First thing we want to do is go to Site, New Site, and we're going to call this site Web Agency Fall 2025 Final. And with the local site folder, we need to aim that at the file we just finished downloading. So in that dedicated folder, Web Agency Fall 2025, we select this folder and we click Save. And in the Files panel, what you should see is basically Images folder, Home, and styles.css. This is basically the files we extracted. What we're going to do is take a quick look at home.html. As I mentioned in that video, these are pre-populated. There's already content in here, but we still have to tweak it and clean it up a bit. So if I click home.html, we can see the code here on the left, and here's what it looks like on the right. It's not that visually stimulating, but let's look at the code and see what's happening. First things first, we have a link over here at the top that's pointing to a CSS file. Now, this is a placeholder. What we'll have to do is link it to the correct CSS file in our project. What's the difference? Well, this one is linking to agency-phase1.css. Our style sheet is named styles.css. So first things first, we're going to fix that up. As we look further down the page, we have the body tag, which is where the content of our page begins, the visual part. And we see that right at the top we have a div class page wrapper. This basically tag closes all the way at the bottom down here. And you can see the comment closing page wrapper div. So there's no confusion. And again, what this does is it gives us a big container around all our content that allows us to control the width of that total page content. So it's like the big daddy container around everything that allows us to do certain things with and gives us a bit of overall control of the page layout. Now inside there, we have the header area, as you can see here in the comments. The header area is composed of the top header area with the logo and the navigation. And of course, there's the header block, which has that placeholder text that we were working with. Please refer back to your structural document as needed to see where that corresponds to in the visual. So what I mean by that is keep that window open with the link from the previous PowerPoint where you can check out in more detail how each of these sections is structured. So you can see here we have the top yellow container, which contains the logo and the navigation bar. That corresponds to the div container here with the class of logo and the navigation bar. So this is a very logically structured document. Just take the time to look at things and become acquainted with where they are. If you still need extra hints, feel free to add them in. You can say, oh, this is the navigation parent, which will, throw the buttons or links into. Okay, don't be shy to comment your code, control, ? And there it is. You have that comment. Now you have at least this placeholder here so that you can quickly find it or understand where things are. Uh, Further down, we have the projects area. These are the different sections in our document. 6 reasons. This is misnamed. This should be video area. But you can tell by the class name in the div container, which is serving as a placeholder for it, what the purpose of this section is. Okay, so this is the team section, this is the customer section. Now, one thing that's consistent here is the naming convention. So class, section, project, section, 6 reasons. This way, when you're looking at your code, you understand what the purpose of these classes are. Be consistent and be clear with your naming conventions. These are just the parent containers. Inside these, we're going to add headings and other elements. For example, this green box, this is the section projects, and all the stuff for projects goes in there. This one, section video. This one, section 6 reasons, team. Okay, so these green containers, that's what these divs represent. You're going to have to figure out, along with me, as we put it together, what's going to happen inside each of these. And all the way down until we hit the footer area, and the footer has a couple of other things going on there. Let's not worry about it too much for now. We'll get to it eventually. But that's basically our page. There's not much to it, guys. Just structurally, you have to look at it very carefully. Let's go ahead and connect our CSS file. So we need to call it styles.css. But before we do that, let's take a look at what's happening in styles.css. So again, fairly well commented, so you can understand what these styles are for. And there's already some stuff going on here, which is nice. We have some pre-built HTML, CSS over here, for header, footer, navigation, and div. So that pretty much covers all the containers in our document. We have some global attributes, things like border box, help elements in HTML behave a bit better, leave it as is. Image fluid, this creates the responsive feature of your images. It'll automatically resize them to fit inside responsive containers. Here's our heading 1s through 6 once we go into Google Fonts and populate it. And here's our media query for when we decide to tackle our responsive stuff at the top. It's too early for this right now, so you can leave it there or deal with it better later. And here we have a bunch of pre-populated classes and names which we'll slowly be filling with CSS. So there's the section I was telling you about. And this way we have a structured CSS document that follows somewhat the same order as our HTML, making it easy to logically find where things are on the page. Okay, right now everything's empty but accounted for, and we'll deal with that as we go through. So back to home.html, we are going to rename this styles.css and keep an eye out on the preview window, because as soon as I do that, perfect, it applies the starter CSS that we assigned here to make looking at our page more easy. Would you rather look at this and understand and see the structures a bit better, or look at this and guess as to where things go and what the hell is going on? Obviously, this right away gives you a much better understanding, and we'll probably keep tweaking it and making it even better as we go. So where do we begin? That's a great question. Let's start by saving all our work. Click File, Save All, and start with maybe the header at the top. It's one of the more challenging features because it has a lot of things going on here. It has the logo container adjacent to the navigation bar, this call out with a button, and behind it all, there's a backdrop of an image. Let's tackle that. Just this section. We won't worry about the rest. We'll just worry about this for now, and we'll do that in the next video.